Right. So just to introduce the team that will be online and presenting involved. This is effectively the Zen Garden for Sitecore product team. My name is Amar Patel. I'm head of alliances at Cognifide. I joined Cognifide about 6 months ago, having spent 5.5 years at Sitecore doing business development and also managing the Global Technology Partner Program. I'm joined by two of our Cognifide ninjas, Adam Nemanovic, Head of Product Engineering. Adam is a well-known, I would say, celebrity in the Sitecore world. He's got 5 years Sitecore development experience. He's also the lead architect and a major contributor to the PowerShell extensions module, which some of you will be familiar with. He's also a Sitecore MVP since being awarded MVP status in 2011. He's been a significant contributor to the community, and we're very glad to have Adam on our team. He's been a set of brains behind Zen Garden. Michael Sadler is also joining us. He is our technical consultant and has 3 years experience with Sitecore from a sales, pre-sales, training and solution architecture perspective. So thank you guys for joining. In terms of the agenda, I'll do some intros, which I've just done. I'll intro Cognifide a little bit, some of the Zen Garden sort of main points, key takeaways, and Adam will then go into a demo, and we'll hopefully leave you with a feeling of a good sort of understanding of the benefits for both customers and for solution providers, Sitecore solution providers, and the benefits that can be gained around this platform. And then we'll open up to Q&A through the chat. So just a brief overview of who we are. Cognifide is we'd call ourselves an enterprise sort of level marketing technology consultancy. We've been around for 10 years. We have 200 plus staff distributed between London, Poznan in Poland, and Copenhagen. We were recently acquired by WPP. We're now part of the WPP group as part of the WPP digital arm and Wonderman, and we are providing our expertise as the content management specialists within WPP around the world. We are not a creative agency, which is a nice thing, but we basically focus on technology solutions and digital marketing technology, and our sweet spot is global multi-brand, multi-region enterprises, some of which you can see on those logos. And we service customers across the world through our main offices. So moving on to Zen Garden and why Zen Garden exists. Really, there are a number of challenges facing digital businesses, and businesses are becoming digital, as you well know. This is a familiar slide of demonstrating the complexities of marketing and the fast-moving requirements required in the world of marketing. And in general, businesses need to be agile from a marketing perspective. Delivering a website is not the same as delivering an SAP project. So we understand that companies find it very, very hard to deliver websites rapidly, especially across fast-moving requirements or fast-changing demands from social media, from other business-to-business requirements. The dream of XSLT was never realized. Some of you may chuckle, but you need Sitecore developers to do front-end development. You need highly skilled developers to deliver Sitecore websites. There's no getting away from that, and that is something that we see as a challenge for businesses trying to be agile, in that they have to talk to IT, they have to get IT involved or some sort of technical consultancy involved. When delivering multiple websites, of which Sitecore is fantastic for, there is sometimes a lack of governance, a lack of process around how an organization can deliver sites across brands, across regions, and across teams, and actually enable those various aspects of the business to actually deliver on the same platform. Websites are custom built. We do see from time to time vertical-based solutions within Sitecore, and quite often this can become a bit of a headache from an upgrade perspective and a maintenance perspective. again, reuse of code is very low, and this is something that a lot of partners have built out for. They've got toolkits, they've got frameworks that they can deliver sites on, and what we've done is effectively taken that learning and effectively productized it into something like Zen Garden. Interestingly, what we find across multi-brand, multi-region organizations is that they'll have multiple agencies involved, and obviously agency A and agency B and agency C, they're all developing the same breadcrumbs, and they're all developing the same video components, and the cost to the business is effectively 3 times in that example of what it could be. And so what we're looking at is seeing how we can increase code reuse. And again, larger enterprises, we see effectively have large IT organizations or large development capabilities where they can't change with respect to or change quickly enough with respect to the business requirements, and typically, it takes a long time to start delivering bespoke sort of applications. So, with all these pain points, with all these challenges and frustrations that our customers and partners see, we've effectively created a product called Zen Garden, some of which you well know, for Sitecore. And really, it is an accelerator that allows digital marketers to deploy and maintain multiple sites quickly and cost effectively. The premise behind Zen Garden was to make sure that we weren't building anything custom. So we've built everything on top of Sitecore, and this is a sort of high-level stack sort of diagram of what it looks like from a potentially a back end and a front end perspective. But on the left hand side, you'll see the Sitecore platform. We have effectively created a core framework called Zen Garden that includes a template engine, reusable components, pluggable themes, and what we call the creative exchange. And on top of that, you can extend it further. So effectively, you can create additional components for Zen Garden that leverage the Zen Garden philosophy from sort of a template and a reusability perspective for other integrations, for other backends, and customize those accordingly. From a front-end perspective, Zen Garden enables a number of sort of role-based separation around how sites can be created, how content and assets can be authored and produced in the system, and then also how design, wireframing, and theming can happen as well. And we realize that this is a complex world. Typically, there is generally, a number of agencies, or potentially you've got a customer who has their own Sitecore dev team and potentially an agency that's supporting them. We see that we can create separation of roles easily for customers, for their networks, and for their agencies as well. In terms of high-level features, these are sort of the concepts that Adam will be touching upon in his demo. But basically, they're sort of you can look at Zen Garden as these kind of features. The template engine that's effectively allows you to create as many templates as you need without going back to a developer. The creative exchange allows the creation of themes without from a designer without them actually knowing that they're designing for a Sitecore website, for example. Pluggable themes, it means you can switch themes as you're wireframing or doing proofs of concepts and effectively amend creative as you go along within a project. And then obviously the reusable components, of which there are 30 plus within Zen Garden, of highly configurable and actually obviously therefore reducing the time around bespoke development. It also means that agencies can get on with the fun stuff of actually doing cool integrations rather than creating another breadcrumb or creating another video image carousel or whatever it be. It's mobile, sort of responsive out of the box, and that's just philosophy that we've chosen to go with. So it means that out of the box, a designer can design for Zen Garden from a mobile perspective without any issue of it being not delivered. This is a slide that's going to demonstrate how Zen Garden can really benefit not only agencies but customers. Typically, a website project will have some sort of linear site production where you go through a creative phase, you look at the user experience, you get that approved, you go through so that will part design some of the IA and sort of key components of look and feel. You go through a design process, creative. You go through the whole conversation. It should be red versus blue with the CMO, and then you get into the development. And effectively, you've got stages of sign off between them. And you can effectively deliver to that basis. So you get onto the front end development, you also do the back end development to back end systems or whatever it may be, and then once you've got that, you deliver it to the customer and they start doing content entry. We all know that this is a broken model. This is not something that we can deliver effectively, especially when we're delivering on an agile basis. So what Zen Garden allows for, because of that easy role separation, it enables us to create parallel work streams, or almost parallel work streams, where you can compress the time to market by simply doing things sort of earlier on. So visual design can actually take place while you're doing the wireframe and information architecture. Content entry can be done once the user experience and information architecture is complete, and then you can get on with component development, front end and back end, as your designs are sort of finishing. This is something that Adam will talk through a little bit more as he goes through his demo, but it really helps customers accelerate their projects. And this is one of the prime benefits, not only to partners, but also to the end customer from a delivery perspective. So to summarize a little bit of what I've been talking about, really what we're looking at, again, with this sort of role separation, we can help marketers create sites with ease, with the same ease as WordPress. They can work with their creatives and their front-end developers and the UI developers to sort of review themes as they're being built. You could obviously assemble sites using the mobile responsive and reusable components, and all the components are mobile friendly as well. Obviously, the whole idea around governance and centralizing sort of component control versus actually giving out theme control to regions and brands allows businesses to adopt something like Zen Garden centrally, but then roll out some of the benefits for various brands around the world. Again, I've spoken about the work streams and how they can be run in parallel, and obviously the summary of that is really where we can accelerate site production processes. Just before we get into the demo, this is a product. So many partners have developed accelerators and sort of framework approaches to delivering sites. We're now in version 4, I believe. We're working on version 4. We're in version 3 right now, Zen Garden for Sitecore. But we have full documentation. We are effectively building out all the materials, the training materials, the enablement materials, and as customers access this, as partners access this, they'll be able to train themselves and bring themselves up to speed on how to deliver best practice for Zen Garden. This includes, what we would call the sort of customer maturity in the project governance. So we realized that, not every customer or agency has the same level of maturity in terms of delivering websites. So we've created a set of best practice approaches around how Zen Garden can be deployed and how it can be used. And these sort of workflow diagrams show the basic swimming sort of lanes of responsibility between a customer, an agency, a creative, and the systems implementer, for example. The interesting thing is that we've seen as partners get and customers get mature on Zen Garden, typically the typical digital site delivery will have the linear stages of creating all the components, the requisite components for delivering a site. But as Zen Garden brings in that parallel sort of acceleration, we get some immediate benefits. But as partners and customers get used to Zen Garden and the ways of working around Zen Garden, how to engage the various components and the various agencies and the various people, they're able to actually accelerate beyond the sort of immediate benefits of what we think can be delivered. And this really means that you can start sort of well, your delivery effectiveness starts to accelerate. So I've been going on for about 14 minutes. I think it's time to switch gears. I think it's time for Adam to give you a taste. I'm just going to change presenter.
Yep.
There you go, Adam. All yours.
Do I have change presenter? Okay. Right.
Hold on. There you go.
Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Fantastically. Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Adam Najmanowicz. I'm with Cognifide for 9 years, working on Sitecore for over 4. I'm going to show you today some basic concepts of Sitecore Zen Garden. So Zen Garden really, as Amar said, allows you to leverage the full potential of your Sitecore investment and achieve an unparalleled time to market when delivering your site, and I'm going to show you how. So on the left-hand side, you see that some of the existing site groups, we call those tenants, and each of those contain one or more sites. Like in here, we call those markets. A market is a self-contained Sitecore site that can be rolled out independently of any other markets. And creating a site really is as easy as running a wizard. And let me show you how. So all settings are stored as part of the market. And you can roll them out without any modifications to your config site, and therefore without any downtime to your servers. With the wizard, you just create the tenant, you give the tenant a name, you give the market a name. You can provide which domain the site will be exposed under. You can create a new theme for the site or pick from a list of available themes. Now, before I go into optimizations that we've introduced in the site creation process, I want to show you how easy and delightful the Sitecore experience and the Sitecore experience editor becomes with Zen Garden. So the site you can see is a brand site for a fictional company that specializes in finding and financing cars for anyone. Their motto is, "You want it, we have it." Our site, however, lacks information about the leasing offering. So I'm going to create this page right now. Let me navigate to the page, switch to edit mode, and add the leasing page. Now you can see that some of the elements are already part of the page. None of those have been custom built, and all of those are standard Sitecore components. I'm going to show you in a moment how they found their way to the page I've just created. But I want to design this page first to show you how easy it is. So every page needs a title. So we're going to drop the title. And we've extended the Sitecore experience with the concept of a toolbox, which allows you to see your components right away and to work with them very easily, because the editing with Zen Garden is a very visual process. Now, title is not enough. I'm going to need to extend the page and provide some additional layout elements to it. So I'm going to split the page. And the layout on Zen Garden is loosely based on a 12-column grid system. We've made it responsive, but all you need to know at this moment is that we have 12 columns at our disposal, which together form can fill the assigned page width. It can either be boxed or can be wide. So out of those 12 columns, I'm going to assign 3 of them to the left-hand side area and the remaining 9 to the right-hand side. And on the left, I'm going to need some navigation just for this area. So I'm going to drop the navigation here. And for this navigation, you can see that it is partially duplicating the content from the top of the page. I want to avoid that. I want to show only the second level of the navigation. And I don't particularly enjoy this how it looks right now. So I'm going to add the sidebar navigation style to it. I'm going to show you with Creative Exchange how you can extend this list. Basically, this is a managed list of classes and behaviors that you can add to your components. Let's approve that, and you can see that the navigation now looks as I would expect it. Now, every page needs some content, so let me just drop a rich text on the right-hand side. And the information about our leasing offering will appear here. Now, below this text, I want to provide some rich content. So I'm going to split it further. And of the 9 columns that I have in this area, I'm going to use 4 on the left and the remaining 5 on the right. And on the left, I'm going to promote pages with some of our customer stories. And you can see the site, our site here. I'm going to promote the construction worker, since he's probably the most probable customer for this page. And on the right, let's put some more elaborate content like an accordion. And you can see that I can add additional additional content as part of the page itself, or I can select from content that could even earlier, even while the look and feel was being designed by my authors. That's okay. I'm happy with how it works right now. Let's save the page. And see how it previews. There it is. That's my semi-finished page. Obviously, each of those components have just like you've seen in navigation, a great deal of additional settings and flexibility. So, for example, for an accordion, you can show that there are a number of transformations and an additional functionalities, like I can toggle, or I can decide whether I want one or many opened, or whether it should expand on hover or expand on mouse click. And a similar level of customizations is available for all of our components. Now, back to the initial page layout. You saw when I initially created the page that some of its elements were already there, stuff like header or footer. Those elements come from what we call them snippets. And snippet, you can see when something, a snippet is a set of components that deals with part of the layout that we want to share across many pages. I'm going to navigate to a snippet and show you that it's not a custom to our site at all. You can see which snippets are used on a page, as those appears in the menu in bold. You can even see which components come from which snippets, as they are highlighted on the page as you hover over their name. So you can see those green borders around them. Now let's navigate to the snippet. And you can see that this is indeed the look and feel that those components that you've seen there. And a snippet is similarly, it's just a set of standard components. You can even see that you can personalize those components. Which is a powerful concept, such as the personalization will follow a user whenever a snippet is used. So if Sitecore detects that we're dealing with valued customer, it will show him this customization, personalization across all the pages. Now, if we go into back to the home page, you will see that it utilizes the header snippet as well as all the other pages. Those snippets are later aggregated into designs. A design is nothing more than a collection of snippets. And you can see which design is currently used on the page when I highlight click the designs drop-down. This is the home design. But Zen Garden is not just a collection of components. It turns Sitecore into a true collaboration platform by optimizing your site creation process, just like Amar was telling you later. When you're starting a new website, your site will be using a wireframe theme. Let me switch to the wireframe theme quickly. And save it. So that your users can focus on functionality when talking to, so that your designers really can focus on the functionality when talking to business users. You can even disable displaying of images by turning the wireframe images on. There you go. This way, the users can focus on what's important at the site inception, the information architecture and site functionality, rather than being distracted that someone has put a wrong image in or that the link is not quite the exact match for the company branding color. They can even have meaningful conversation on the page by leaving each other notes. So we can, for example, click on a carousel and add an annotation, and we will need another slide here. Using the wireframe theme, you can design your snippets and aggregate those into designs, as well as assign those designs to pages using a simple data template design mapper. So for this home page, we can see that the design, by hovering, we can see that the design is set at the home template, which is in here. And you can see that the templates are mapped onto the designs that we've created. On a page level, you can also override the design, which if we don't, it will use the design to template mapping. So once the site layout is in place, we can immediately start engaging the whole spectrum of our normal actors, from the traditional multidisciplinary team that delivers websites. Marketers can already enter content and create pages, as our wireframes are in fact now a functional site. Creative designers can provide the graphical designs and do it in a very informed way, seeing how the content interacts by having the actual clickable site. And an additional benefit is that they will be less inclined to use lorem ipsum for their content, as they have blurbs already put in place for them by the marketeers. So you will less likely run into a situation where your promos will actually be of wrong sizes because, well, conveniently on the design, all the promos had the same tag, the same amount of lorem ipsum. Now, front-end developers, for this group, we have a whole set of good news. They no longer need to create HTML based on the creatives, as this comes as part of the platform. All they need to do is use Creative Exchange to export the site. The HTML is then available for them to unzip and edit in their tool of choice, just as they used to work. So let me show you the concept of Creative Exchange. Now that you have the site, you can export the site, and you can export it either to a folder on the server. And what this enables you to do is work using either Git or SVN for your UI designers to work on their designs gradually, or you can zip it into a package and download it. Now, let me show you how the Creative Exchange exports looks like. Basically, what you're getting is a zip file, which, when unzipped, will contain all the assets of the site that is even browsable. You can see that I'm actually now looking at the site that is on my drive rather than on the server. The site is fully functional and allows the front-end developers to test changes they will be introducing to the site. Now, if we open the page for editing, you will see that we have marked places for them to work with. They can replace classes in page or components HTML. They can also replace paths to images. So they can add the classes whenever the intent is marked. And in all the components that contain images, they can replace those images to provide those assets. Creative Exchange export contains the theme and all the assets required by your site by duplicating by zipping also and including the content of the media library. So you can see our styles. And you can see that it contains both fonts, images, styles, and scripts. This is true for both themes and regular assets, which are also included in the site. Now, once they are done, they can zip the folder and import it back into Zen Garden. Basically, this is the reverse process where the folder or the uploaded zip package can be put in place can be imported back. So all the Sitecore sites are immediately responsive. Even in wireframe, you can see the concept of responsiveness and how the site will behave and where the breakpoints will appear. And let's switch back to the finished theme. There we go. And turn off the oh, right, okay, so the wireframes are now turned off. While we allow you to change and modify this behavior, you can see that our leasing page is also immediately responsive by default. Now, this may not be enough. There are other ways of making the site not only responsive, but also adaptive, like assigning different themes to different device groups. So you can specify a different theme for every device, or even have a complete set of separate set of layouts. So basically, you can switch into a different device and design it completely separately. Otherwise, Zen Garden will detect that you don't have a layout and fall back to your responsive site. The last thing I wanted to show you is the Zen Garden search functionality. Let me switch into a preview. And reload. The search we have introduced in Zen Garden is a fully featured search solution containing most, if not all, of the search and filtering capabilities you would use in multiple scenarios. Let me click on this one. Our fictional brand caters to different target groups. You can see that that we have a number of search pages that contain pre-filtered content for each group. This can be controlled on a site, page, component, and user interaction level. For example, our pickup cars will list the pickup cars only, while the sport car page will focus on sport cars. Additional level of filtering can come from facet filters that also come as part of the platform. For example, I might only be interested in Aston Martins, but since I'm still somewhat budget conscious, I might limit my search to cars older than 2009. Component variants allow for rich customizations of search experience through providing different view of the data displayed. This goes not only for search pages, but the search can also be part of any page, allowing us to build search-based websites. For example, if I navigate to an adventure seeker persona page, you will find a familiar list of search customized for this persona to show SUV cars only. Now, there's a lot of more to Zen Garden than what I've just shown you. Feel free to ask us any questions on the Q&A session in a moment. Amar?
Thank you, Adam.
Back to you.
Thank you very much. So we're getting a couple of questions, and please, everyone, we're happy to go under the hood. So if we want to get technical, we're happy to do that. So please feel free to put some questions into the search box. So we've got a couple of questions here already. How do I build my own Zen Garden components?
Okay, so Zen Garden component really is a Sitecore component. The only difference that you will experience is that you are inheriting from a thin layer middle class that basically gives you all the benefits of a Zen Garden component, which means makes it compatible with Creative Exchange and adds all the classes so that you can actually fully leverage the investment in Zen Garden. But other than this is simply a Sitecore component, and you don't need any additional skills for this.
Okay, thank you. And talking about skills, what are the necessary skills to build a theme?
So since we are actually exporting the site, and the UI designer is working with the files on the drive, it's practically we eliminate the need for training your UI developers on Sitecore specifically. The only thing that you need to know is your standard UI skills that you already have. So basically, you need to know where to put the JavaScripts and images, which is you know uh, uh, which is immediately apparent, and mm, and basically the rest of it is just the standard HTML. So you don't the learning curve is quite low for a person who is actually dealing with HTML already. And we are automatically including all the files that you've put in a theme and attaching it to the page, to the referencing it from the page and optimizing the assets so that no unnecessary round trips are made.
Okay, thank you. Around search, how does it integrate, or how does it integrate well with Coveo search?
So basically, it uses this. It leverages the Sitecore search provider infrastructure. So basically, it should be a snap to. We haven't tested it particularly with Coveo, but with our experiences with Solar, it's really trivial to switch to a different search engine.
Okay, thank you. Are snippets and themes cacheable by the Sitecore HTML caching engine? For example, what if a theme or snippet uses a spider menu component that is contextual to the page it's used on?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've verified this, and basically, it works. It works, no problem with the caching engine. We've made some changes to the components, like leveraging other parameters rather than data source for this purpose. But it will cache the context components will be cached on the context level. So it will be cached within the context of this page, but it will not. The context will switch if the component should look different.
Okay. In the maturity model, we said that content entry can start earlier than in a more traditional approach. What are the Zen Garden particularities that allow that compared to a normal Sitecore project? This is a good question. I think this is more around process rather than technology. But Adam, go ahead.
Basically, since you are designing the page, since you can design the wireframes, and we come with a set of behaviors, and the components come with a set of styles that allow you to create the wireframe within Sitecore itself, rather than going through the work with specific tools that do this outside of Sitecore, or if you want to use those tools, the built-in functionality allows you to port those wireframes really quickly into the website. You get the site structure and the sitemap and all the site IA practically immediately in your instance. This means that since you have it in your Sitecore instance, your content editors can immediately start building the site, even without having the creative job done. And since you don't need to build in 80% of functionality, 80 to 90% of functionality is already there for a standard site, you you basically can start engaging all the authors, all the actors immediately. So the developers will only be making those missing functionalities, those missing components, if there are any. And and in our experience, the only missing components are those if you need some specific business integration or a functionality like, for example, um, age verification page, or maybe a store locator or something that will talk to the backend systems, but the all the furniture content that is around this and all the content of the pages can be created immediately. And there's also, and another thing is that, okay, well, we've got this HTML in here. All we're doing, the UI developers also get their job done much quickly, because the stuff like carousel, accordion, all this mechanics and all this geometry is already there. They pretty much style it, and their job is much faster. Not sure whether this answers the
I think that answers the question.
questions.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You know,
Okay.
I think so. All right, we have run over time, but we've got four more questions, and you know, we'll keep going. So everyone is welcome to hang on. How does Zen Garden work in multiple server environments, multiple content management sort of instances, and multiple content
Mhm.
delivery instances?
Mhm. So we've got a number of clients that actually leverage this in multi-site and multi-server scenarios. It, it we've got a client which has actually, I think, 50 or well, actually, if you count all the markets and configurations, they have over 100 sites running on a number of servers, and it behaves. They we uh, we hear no complaints that anything would not be working for them.
Great. Okay. Um, how is the software distributed to development teams to use for a site build?
Um,
I guess how
okay,
is it installed? How is it?
how is it
I guess that would
installed?
be yeah.
It's a standard Sitecore package. If actually if it's for developers, then we also share the code. But it all depends on the level of IT involvement um, from the that is required. But
Okay.
it's yes, it is a standard Sitecore package
Yeah.
in a normal scenario.
Related to that, I have a question in regard to a demo or test version of Zen Garden being available. Yes, we have an evaluation license, so if anyone is interested, we can certainly provide that. And please feel free to email myself or Adam, and we can follow through with providing an eval for you. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. And can you have some Zen Garden sites and some non-Zen Garden sites on the same installation?
Mm, Pretty much. I mean, we, as Amar said before, we make it really a paradigm of Zen Garden that we don't we do as little custom as possible. And we modify Sitecore to as little extent as possible. We extend the pipelines, and we've run through this with Sitecore themselves, and we had it confirmed that we're using the proper practices. So pending pending some QA, obviously, because this is, those are. There is always a scenario when maybe Zen Garden is doing something that might be conflicting with your solution. So pending due diligence testing, we have situations where Zen Garden works with other custom solutions.
Great. Okay, well, I think we should wrap up now. So I would really like to say thank you to everyone who's attended. Appreciate your time. I've just sent my email address on the chat. So if you'd like to do an evaluation, please do send me an email or get in touch with us on Twitter or sales@cognifide.com. I'd like to thank Adam and Michael for their support, and obviously the team behind them who you haven't seen. So again, we'll be doing more sort of promotion and webinars in regard to Zen Garden. So please feel free to keep in touch, and if you need an inval, we're happy to do that as well. So I'm going to end the webinar now. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, everyone.